Hello, my name is Moses Bombo-Tambasin. I'm currently located in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I just want to introduce my website to you, the website that I have just built, and the website is www.liberiamade.net. www.liberiamade.net. I want to introduce this website to you because this is the website that I have built for the simple fact that we as Liberians can be able to come together and promote our country and ourselves to the highest level possible. Because if you look at the history of Liberia, even before the civil war that we went through, Liberia being the first independent continent, rather the first independent country in the continent of Africa, is far behind in terms of progress and development. The question that comes to mind is why? Why Liberia being the first country in the continent of Africa, but yet Liberia is one of the least developed countries? And I want to share with you briefly the reason simply could be that we are not just promoting ourselves. We are doing good, but we're not doing the best for ourselves. Because if you look at Guinea, our neighbor, Sierra Leone, our neighbor, Ivory Coast, our neighbor, those countries gain independence long after we have gained independence. But today you can agree with me that they are far ahead in development wise than Liberia. So the question is why? Why could it be because we do not have the resources necessary to develop our country? No. You agree with me that we do have resources. We have iron ore, we have diamond, we have gold, we have timber, we have oil, we have gold, we have everything. We have logs, you name it. Our country is rich. Tropical rainforest. But if you look, you can see that most of the things that the civil war is in need of, we have it. And these resources that we have are being exploited. But yet, at the end of the day, Liberians are going to be hungry. So, what is happening then to our resources? What are we doing that is not the right thing? So, what I think is happening though is that people are coming to invest into Liberia, but they are not paying the fair value for our resources. Simply because there has been no competition enough, or we have not come to realize that we know the value of what we have. We are giving our resources, our value for what God has given to us so cheap to investors. Many times we cry for investors to come to Liberia, which is a very good idea, don't get me wrong. But if you want to know really who investor is, I want to tell you that investors are people who spend money to get more than they have invested. Investors are not coming to Liberia for the interest of Liberia. They are coming for the interest of for their individual countries or for themselves. So then if we have iron ore that is being mined or exploited, if we have gold and diamond that are being mined and exploited, if we have timber that are being exploited every day, but yet at the end of the day, we have nothing to boast of when these investors have left. You know what happened to Liberia in bomb mines? You know what happened to Liberia when during the wartime? What happened to Bombing Hills even before the war? What happened to Lamco? What happened to Firestone? What happened to all the logs, the timber that have been exported from Liberia for years and years ago? These countries are developing their countries. And yet, the country they are taking these resources from are lagging behind. So we have to ask ourselves, what is it that we are not doing better? So we have to come together to promote our resources. We have to be able to market and demand a fair price for what we have. To do that, we have to promote ourselves the best way possible. So this is the reason why I have launched this website called www.liberiamade.net, so that you and I can come together to promote the resources. We have talented people in Liberia. We have people who are gifted, but these people are not being promoted. For any country to succeed, that country have to be able to export. You have to be able to sell what you have. Today, America, China, and other civilized countries in the world, they are richer because they sell out to the outside world more than they bring in. Because when you sell, you make profit. When you buy, in most of the time, you buy to consume. The person from whom you are buying is making profit. So you buy to eat. So does that mean that we do not have anything in Liberia to market to the world? The answer is no. There are people who make beds, clothes, shoes, belt, and you name it. Do you know that Liberia has never had a trade show? To have a trade show means you have something that is of monetary value that you have to sell to the world. We have not had. We want to develop Liberia, we have to start from the bottom up. We have to look back in our backyard, in the bushes, and begin to help those, our brothers and our sisters, who have the talent to make things, but they are not being helped to promote themselves and their products. So we must come together. If you're in Liberia, wherever you are in Liberia, you have your business, you have your store, you can make a chair, a bed, a hat, whatever you can make. I am here to promote you. This website is to promote Liberian-made products. And if you're a Liberian, both in Liberia and outside Liberia, whatever kind of business you are engaged into or service business, this website is to promote you. I have created it. It exists. We have discussion forum on different topics at different times. I also send out a weekly newsletter encouraging you, promoting you, and asking you so that we can come together than ever before to demand a fair value, so we can talk to our government, so we can identify and submit proposals at all times. So this is the website, and I'm going to be speaking to you from time to time. Keep coming to this website. Keep coming to view this video. Tell your friends wherever they are that LiberiaMade.com is the website for all Liberians, both in Liberia and abroad, that we need to come together to promote our country, to let the world know that we have resources, and we must demand for our fair share of those resources, so that we cannot be selling our resources, people cannot be getting our resources while we are going to be hungry. It is not fair. It is not fair today. It will not be fair to generation now and the generation to come. If we don't speak up, if we don't stand up, if we don't become unselfish, not only are we taking responsibility of Christ onto our children, we'll be held accountable. No matter what you are doing, devote some time to discuss the issues in Liberia. You know somebody who is gifted. Find their information, send it to me, and I'll promote it on this website, www.liberiamade.net. Subscribe it, visit it. Let me hear from you after watching this video, and let me know how you look at it. All right? We are in it together. God bless you, and I love you. Liberia love you. Bye-bye.